When Fiat exhibited the 600 Multipla model at the 1956 Brussels Motor Show, many visitors turned up their noses because the car was objectively ugly to look at. Furthermore, few understood the technical significance of the vehicle. It was actually the first minivan produced in series in Italy, available in a 4 or 6-seater version and equipped with the 633 cm3 water-cooled 4-cylinder rear engine with 21.5 horsepower, the same as the sedan version. The project bore the signature of engineer Dante Giacosa, at that time director of the Fiat Vehicle Design Department, while the basic concept was due to Mario Revelli di Beaumont, who designed a prototype with a rear engine, never built, in 1933. A good part of the production was directed to the 6-seater taxi version, painted in two-tone, while a small part of the chassis was destined for the coach builders. The latter had understood the enormous potential for using the 2-meter wheelbase chassis. Thanks to the Multipla, in fact, during the 11 years of its production, vans, pickup trucks, advertising vehicles, ambulances, hearses, mini campers, and some particular open versions were created which were later called spiaggine in Italian or beach cars in English. Over time, many of the coach builders proposed their own version or more than one, but the first to build one was Battista Farina, owner of the Pininfarina company in Turin. The request came from Gianni Agnelli, at the time president of the family company Rive, a manufacturer of ball bearings, who wanted to have a small open vehicle in his villa in Villefranche-sur-Mer, on the French Riviera. The villa, known in the village as La Leopolda, had been built as a summer residence for King Leopold II of Belgium, and over the decades it was expanded and modernized. The main building is surrounded by a park with a garden of about 8 hectares. Since the residence is positioned on a hill, you can enjoy an excellent view of the entire Vale, from Cap Ferrat to Cap du Eden Roc. The 600 Multipla Speciale was designed inspired by a yacht tender, but on wheels. Agnelli, beside being a reckless driver and a skier, was also a sea enthusiast, and this yacht Agnita was anchored in the small port of Villefranche. So, the team of designers from Pininfarina, Salomone Brovarone and others, under the supervision of Sergio Farina, designed a small boat on wheels. The chassis was surrounded by vertical sides. At the bow there was a curved windshield, like that of the Riva motorboats, on which a fake grille with headlights, Fiat logo, and turn signals were applied. The advanced driving position had a bench seat covered in resin flex, a particular vinyl covering used also for the Riva motorboats, while the dashboard was the same as the standard 600, but with a wooden steering wheel. Passengers sat on a thick wood bench that surrounded the perimeter of the vehicle. At the stern, a small deck was functional both for transporting things and for refueling. Further back, a small grille hood allowed the inspection of the engine compartment. The vehicle was protected by a mahogany fender along the entire perimeter, and the bumpers was also covered in wood. The wide-wall Michelin tires add a touch of style to the blue-painted rims, as well as the grille and the stern area. The Multipla Speciale was designed as an open vehicle and no canopy was provided. Curiously, Pininfarina did not apply its logo on the side. In its place, there were only 2 nautical signal flags bearing the letter F and P crossed. The only writing to recall the name of the manufacturer was applied on the chrome plating that crossed the dashboard. The Multipla Speciale was homologated in Turin and delivered to Agnelli just in time for the summer season. During the same summer, Henry IV II visited the Fiat plants in Turin. After a long conversation with Professor Valletta, president of the company, the tycoon's son spent the rest of the day with Gianni Agnelli, who drove him around in his Ferrari 375 America Special Coupe. During a conversation on the subject of automobiles, he learned about the curious 600 that Agnelli had commissioned to Pininfarina for his villa in France. Enthusiastic about the idea, he too ordered one with the idea of using it with his wife Anne at their golf club in Dearborn, Michigan. In the fall, the second 600 Multipla speciale was delivered to Henry Ford II at the Paris Motor Show, where Pininfarina exhibited on his stand. Mr. Ford paid $6,000 for the 600 speciale. This Multipla differed to that of Agnelli's in a few small details. At the front it had a Fiat logo under the windshield, and at the back there were attachments on the deck for the luggage rack. However, the nickname Eden Roc was given to the vehicle by Gianni Agnelli precisely because of the proximity of the promontory to the Villa La Leopolda, and therefore is not the official name of this model. The nickname was instead made public in 1957 by the French newspapers, when Agnelli lent the vehicle on the occasion of the 10th Cannes Film Festival. When in 1963 Agnelli sold the villa in Villafranche to the American philanthropist Dorothy J. Killam, the Multipla speciale was taken to the Lingotto factory at Turin, where it remained for several years. The father of the author of this video, employed at Fiat in those years, had the opportunity to accompany some guests on a visit to the plant on the track above the factory with the 600 special. Guests often complained about the discomfort of the wooden benches of the Multipla. Later, like other cars in the service of the plant, the Eden Roc was handed over to a Fiat agency that was responsible for disposing of obsolete equipment and used vehicles. Most likely this Multipla disappeared because since then no more news had been heard of it, while the second one reappeared in the United States of America in 2005 on the occasion of the 50th Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, restored and equipped with attachment to secure the canopy. Actually, this 600 is at the Robert M. Lee collection in Reno, Nevada. At this point, the history of this particular model would seem to be over if it were not for the fact that in 2010, during the 28th Concours d'Elegance in Dana Point, California, a third Multipla speciale appeared, slightly different from the two previous examples. Factory records show that the chassis of this 600, number 8009, was produced in 1957, embodied by Pininfarina in the same year. As stated by the owners, the vehicle has remained in their garage since 1957. It was purchased by William Henry Doheny Jr., son of the oil magnate of the same name and president of the Union Oil Company of Los Angeles. Doheny was a great California entrepreneur, and among his many activities, including philanthropic ones, he was also interested in the tourist development of Lake Arrowhead by building together with other partners a real estate complex consisting of motels, and bungalows and cabins of various types immersed in the greenery of the San Bernardino National Park, as well as a beach equipped with a marina. The area was also frequented by many movie actors through the 60s. Even today, Doheny 600 Multipla still has the stickers on the windshields for the permit to park in the tourist complex. Today, this special 600 is painted all in white, including the rims, has the writing Pininfarina on the side under the cross flags, the second Fiat logo under the windshield, the attachment to secure the canopy, the luggage rack on the back, and the faked Italian license plate. Most likely, all this is due to choices made during the restoration, which took place in 2008, because the car was similar in the configuration to the second one, as stated by the few period photos. Also, the vehicle doesn't have the original Type 100 engine, but a reborn 962 cubic centimeter engine with an air filter and the manifold made by Abarth and the double-barrel Weber carburetor, developing 50 horsepower. Compared to the two previous examples, the steering column is positioned further left, limiting the space of the front bench seat to 2 persons only. After participating in several concours d'élégance, in 2015 the heirs of the Doheny family auctioned the restored vehicle. The auction took place on August 16th at the Goodin Auction House in Monterey during the Pebble Beach Concours d'Élégance, where the vehicle was sold for $600,000 and $60,000. The car is now on display at the Petersen Museum in Los Angeles, and a few years ago it returned to participate in the American Concours d'Élégance. The 600 Multipla Special, born of Gianni Agnelli's whim, annulling became a style icon in the expert hands of Pininfarina, paving the way not only for numerous interpretations of the 600 Multipla chassis, but also for subsequent Fiat models and even more, perpetuating the tradition of Italian beach cars for almost 20 years. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share this video.